The starship glided silently through the blackness of space, its silver hull reflecting the distant light of 1,000 stars. Inside, Captain Daniel Reed studied the maps of the uncharted sector. This region of the galaxy had long been a mystery to humans, full of rumors about strange planets and unknown civilizations. Daniel was a man of courage and curiosity, known among his crew for his calm thinking even in the most dangerous situations. "Captain," said Lieutenant Harris, pointing at the navigation screen, "we are approaching the source of the energy signal. It is unlike anything we have ever recorded before." Daniel leaned closer, watching as the readings spiked with strange waves of light and sound. "Keep the ship steady," he said. "We do not know what we are going to find. Stay alert, but do not panic." The crew worked quietly, their movements precise and practiced. Every human on board could feel the tension in the air, a mixture of fear and excitement. No one had ever seen this part of the galaxy up close. The stories of civilizations beyond human knowledge had always seemed like legends. But now, they were about to step into one of those stories themselves. The ship landed gently on the surface of a planet bathed in soft blue light. The sky was a swirling mix of colors, not like anything found on Earth. Strange plants grew along the ground, glowing faintly as if they had their own energy. Daniel and his team put on their exploration suits, double-checking their oxygen and communication devices. "Remember," Daniel said, looking at each crew member, "we are explorers. Respect and caution come first. Anything we find could be dangerous, or it could teach us something incredible." The crew nodded. Slowly, they stepped out onto the alien soil. The ground was firm but had a strange vibration, as though the planet itself was alive. The air smelled faintly sweet, and tiny lights floated in the distance like fireflies. Every step they took echoed softly, and the explorers could feel the planet's quiet power surrounding them. As they walked toward the source of the energy signal, a shimmering palace appeared on the horizon. Its towers rose high, reflecting light in every direction. The humans stopped in awe. The palace was more magnificent than any building they had seen before. Its surface was smooth, yet it seemed to move slightly, like it was breathing. Daniel's eyes widened. "Stay together," he whispered. "We do not know if anyone or anything lives here." Suddenly, a sound like music filled the air. It was soft, but it carried a strange authority. The humans froze as figures began to appear around them. They were tall, elegant, and unlike any species Daniel had ever seen. Their skin shimmered slightly and their eyes glowed with gentle light. But it was the figure in the center that caught everyone's attention. The alien queen stepped forward. She was taller than the others, her presence commanding yet calm. Her robes flowed like water, shimmering with colors Daniel could not name. Her eyes held a mixture of curiosity and wisdom. Every human felt a strange pull toward her, as if she could see into their very hearts. Daniel instinctively stepped forward slightly, but he remained careful. "Stay calm," he told his crew. They all knew that one wrong move could start a conflict, and they had come for knowledge, not war. The queen's voice was soft but filled the space around them. "Humans," she said, "you have arrived at my world. I have observed your species from afar. You are curious, brave, and yet uncertain. Tell me, why have you come?" Daniel took a deep breath. "We are explorers," he said clearly. "We seek knowledge and understanding. We mean no harm to you or your people. We are here to learn about your world." The queen regarded him silently, her eyes scanning every human. She seemed to measure their courage, their intentions, and their hearts. After a long moment, she spoke again. "Many humans have come near my world, but few have stepped forward with such honesty. I have a task for you if you are willing." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Daniel felt the weight of responsibility pressing on his shoulders. "We are willing to try," he said. The queen nodded, a small smile forming on her lips. "This planet holds secrets and powers that can bring great change. But it is not enough to be brave. One must understand, respect, and act with wisdom. There will be challenges that test more than your strength. You must be willing to face them without fear or greed." Daniel's heart pounded. He felt a mixture of excitement and fear. He had faced dangerous situations before, but nothing like this. This was more than exploration. It was stepping into a story that could change the course of history. "Follow me," the queen said. Her voice guided them as she moved toward the palace. The humans followed, careful to mirror her steps. Every movement was graceful, purposeful. Daniel could feel that the queen was leading them somewhere important, but he did not know what awaited inside. The palace doors opened without a sound. revealing a hall that glowed softly with the same mysterious light as the outside. Strange symbols covered the walls, moving slightly as if alive. The air hummed with energy. The humans felt a mix of awe and unease. "You are welcome here," the Queen said. "But before you proceed, know this. Only one human may truly step forward. The decision will not be easy, and it will carry great responsibility. Choose wisely, for the choice is yours alone." Daniel felt a shiver run down his spine. He knew this moment was more than a test. It was a challenge to the very essence of human courage. He looked at his crew. Some looked uncertain, some afraid. He could see that many were already hesitant. For a long moment, the room was silent except for the soft hum of the palace. Daniel took a deep breath, steadying himself. He did not know what the future would bring, but he knew that humans had faced impossible odds before. Courage was not the absence of fear, but the choice to act despite it. The Queen studied him closely, her eyes holding a quiet intensity. Daniel felt as if she could see every thought, every doubt, every hope. He straightened his posture and prepared himself for what might come next. Whatever lay ahead, Daniel knew this. Stepping onto this planet, facing this Queen, and accepting this challenge was the beginning of a journey unlike any other. A journey that could define not only his life but the future of all humans. And in that moment, Daniel Reed felt ready to face whatever the alien Queen had in store for him. The hall inside the palace was larger than any building Daniel had ever seen. Light seemed to flow from the walls themselves, changing colors slowly, as if the palace was alive. Strange symbols glimmered across the floor, guiding the explorers deeper into the space. The air was filled with a soft hum, like a gentle song that resonated in their chests. The alien Queen moved ahead, her robes flowing behind her like liquid silver. Daniel and his team followed, careful not to trip or step off the glowing paths. Every step felt like walking through a dream, and yet Daniel knew they were in a very real place. "Humans," the Queen said, her voice carrying without being loud. "This hall is the first of several tests. They are not simple games, nor are they meant to harm you. They are designed to show your courage, intelligence, and understanding. Only one of you may step forward at the end." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Many of them looked uncertain, hesitating at the thought of tests set by a being so powerful and unknown. Daniel, however, felt a quiet determination. He understood that the Queen was not seeking someone strong or smart alone. She wanted someone who could think, act, and care in equal measure. The Queen stopped before a large archway. Light shimmered within it, forming images that moved and changed. Daniel could see visions of other worlds, strange creatures, and difficult situations. "This is the first challenge," the Queen said. "You must pass through this gateway, but you cannot rely on force or speed alone. Observe, understand, and act with thought. Those who fail will turn back, but those who succeed may move forward." Daniel stepped closer, studying the visions carefully. The archway seemed to respond to thought and intention, shifting and changing depending on what the viewer focused on. Some of the crew tried to rush through, moving quickly as if brute force would help, but the archway shimmered and blocked their path. A few gave up, stepping back nervously. Daniel closed his eyes for a moment and took a deep breath. He remembered the Queen's words: "Observe, understand, and act with thought." Slowly he extended his hand toward the shimmering portal, not in force, but in careful intention. The images in the archway shifted, showing him exactly where to step and when. With a steady heart, he moved forward, one careful step at a time. The archway seemed to open for him, allowing passage where others could not pass. The crew watched in awe. Some of them whispered among themselves, unsure how Daniel had succeeded. The Queen's eyes sparkled with interest, clearly impressed by his calm approach. As they moved deeper into the palace, the second challenge appeared. A wide room stretched before them, filled with floating orbs of light. Each orb contained a scene of distress. Some showed creatures in danger, others showed natural disasters, and some depicted beings in conflict. "To pass this test," the Queen said, "you must demonstrate empathy. You cannot ignore the suffering you see. You must choose wisely whom to help first, for every choice has consequences." Daniel looked at the orbs carefully. He realized that rushing to help the easiest ones might seem smart, but it could leave others in worse danger. He focused on the situations that were most urgent, using his judgment to decide whom to assist first. Each choice required thought and compassion. Some of the crew hesitated, afraid to make the wrong decision. A few walked away from the orbs, uncomfortable with the weight of responsibility. Daniel acted calmly. He guided creatures to safety, redirected natural disasters where he could, and even helped mediate conflicts. Each action caused the orbs to glow brighter, as if approving his decisions. The Queen observed quietly, nodding slightly at his approach. After completing the orb challenge, the team faced the third test, a maze that twisted and turned endlessly. The walls were smooth and glowing, with paths that seemed to move as they walked. Some crew members panicked, running in circles and growing frustrated. Others stopped, unsure where to go. Daniel knew that force and speed would not help here either. He closed his eyes for a moment, listening to the hum of the palace. Slowly he felt a rhythm, a subtle pulse guiding him. Trusting his senses, he walked steadily, allowing the maze to reveal its way rather than trying to force his path. Step by step, he moved through the twisting corridors until the maze opened into a wide chamber. Inside the chamber, the Queen waited. "You have shown courage, thought, and empathy," she said. "But there is still one more test. It is the most difficult, for it will challenge not your strength or mind, but your heart." Daniel listened carefully. His heart raced, but he remained calm. He knew that this final test would require more than bravery. It would require understanding and trust. The Queen led them to a platform suspended above a glowing pool of energy. The pool reflected visions of the human world, the alien world, and countless other possibilities. "Look into this pool," the Queen said, "and see the choices before you. You must decide who you are willing to become. Only those who understand themselves and the responsibility they carry may step forward." Daniel stared into the pool. He saw visions of himself facing fear, facing doubt, and facing responsibility beyond his imagination. He saw moments where he could fail, where others could be hurt, and where he might be tested beyond anything he had known. And yet he also saw moments of courage, of hope, and of connection between humans and the alien world. Slowly he understood. This test was not about who was strongest or fastest, nor about who could solve puzzles or navigate mazes. It was about willingness to face the unknown, to act with courage and heart, and to accept responsibility for choices that could change many lives. Daniel turned to his crew. Some looked back at him, uncertainty in their eyes. Others stepped away, unwilling to face the challenge fully. Daniel felt a quiet determination settle over him. He knew what he had to do. The Queen watched him, her eyes soft but piercing. "Do you understand what is required, human?" she asked. "Yes," Daniel said steadily. "I understand. I am ready to take responsibility, to face the unknown, and to act with courage and respect." The Queen nodded. "Then you may proceed. But remember, this choice is not about glory or reward. It is about partnership, understanding, and trust. Are you willing to step forward with that knowledge?" Daniel took a deep breath and nodded. "I am." The room seemed to hum even louder, as if approving his decision. The light of the pool reflected in his eyes, and Daniel felt the weight of the future pressing on him. He knew that whatever came next, he would face it with courage and care. The Queen stepped aside, allowing him to approach the pool fully. As he moved forward, the other humans watched in silence. Some were inspired, some were unsure, but all felt the gravity of the moment. Daniel was stepping into a choice that could define the destiny of humans and aliens alike. And in that moment, Daniel Reed understood something deeper than any exploration, challenge, or test. Courage was not the absence of fear. It was the willingness to face fear, to act with thought and heart, and to embrace responsibility even when the outcome was uncertain. The alien Queen watched closely, her eyes reflecting curiosity and approval. Daniel knew that this was only the beginning. The real challenge, the challenge of trust, partnership, and unity, was about to begin. And yet, for the first time, he felt ready. The chamber beyond the glowing pool was quiet now, but the air felt heavy with anticipation. Daniel could sense that the next step would be even more important than the tests he had already faced. The alien Queen stood at the far end, her eyes calm but observant, as if she could see through every thought and hesitation. "You have passed the first trials," the Queen said softly. "You have shown courage, intelligence, and empathy. But these were only the beginning. The final challenge will test your heart, your judgment, and your willingness to step forward when all others hesitate." Daniel felt a surge of determination. He had faced dangers, unknown creatures, and puzzles that would have confounded most humans. Yet he knew this was different. This was not about skill or knowledge. It was about choice, and the weight of that choice could shape not only his life, but the future of two worlds. The queen waved her hand, and the chamber transformed. The walls melted into a soft golden light, and in the center 12 human-sized figures appeared. They were holographic images, each representing a possible path, a possible choice. Some showed worlds in chaos, others in peace. Some showed him alone. Some showed companions who relied on his decisions. These are visions of what could be, the queen explained. They show what may happen depending on your actions, your courage, and your wisdom. You must look at them, understand them, and choose the path that reflects your true self. Do not rush. Only one human may step forward, and that person must do so with full understanding. Daniel stepped closer to the visions. Each one seemed real, filled with detail, emotion, and possibility. He could see humans and aliens working together. He could see dangers that threatened both species, and he could see the consequences of hesitation and fear. The others in his crew looked uneasy. Some whispered to each other, unsure what to do. Some simply stood frozen, overwhelmed by the visions and the responsibility they implied. Daniel took a deep breath. He remembered the first tests, the archway that required thought, the orbs that required empathy, and the maze that required trust in his own judgment. Each had prepared him for this moment, teaching him patience, compassion, and insight. He focused on the visions one by one, studying the outcomes carefully. Some were tempting, showing comfort and ease, but he knew these were not real courage. Some were frightening, filled with risk, yet they held the possibility of connection and understanding. Daniel realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the choice to act despite it. He stepped forward, moving toward a vision that showed humans and aliens working side by side to prevent disaster. The vision shimmered, and he could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on him. His heart raced, but he remained steady. He understood that this was a moment of truth. The other crew members watched. A few seemed inspired by Daniel's calm determination. Others turned away, uncomfortable with the intensity of the challenge. Daniel felt a mixture of pride and humility. Pride because he was willing to face what most could not. Humility because he knew the path ahead would require more than courage. It would require loyalty, understanding, and patience. The queen's voice broke the silence. Do you see what is required, human? This is not a game. This is a choice that will define you and shape the future. You must step forward willingly. There is no force or persuasion that can make the decision for you. Daniel nodded. I understand, he said quietly, his voice steady. I am ready to step forward. I will take responsibility. I will act with courage, thought, and care. The room seemed to respond to his words. The golden light grew brighter, surrounding him in a warm glow. The holographic visions shimmered and then disappeared, leaving only the alien queen and the glowing path ahead. Then step forward, the queen said. Show that you are willing to take this responsibility fully. You will not walk this path for yourself alone. You will walk it for your people and mine, for the future that you choose to build together. Daniel walked slowly but firmly toward the queen. With each step, he could feel the weight of history pressing down on him, yet he did not falter. The chamber seemed to hum with energy, acknowledging his courage and his choice. As he reached the queen, she extended a hand. Her touch was gentle, yet it carried an undeniable power. You have made your choice, she said. And in doing so, you have shown that humanity can rise to meet the challenges of the unknown. You are the one who will step forward. Daniel bowed his head slightly in respect. I will do my best, he said. I will not fail. The queen's eyes softened, reflecting a mixture of curiosity and approval. You are brave, but bravery alone is not enough. You must be wise, patient, and compassionate. These are the qualities that will guide you and keep both our worlds safe. For a moment, Daniel felt the enormity of the responsibility. He could see the potential outcomes of his actions, the lives that depended on him, and the trust placed in him by someone so powerful and wise. Yet, despite the fear and uncertainty, he felt ready. The queen motioned toward a large chamber beyond. Come, human. There is more for you to learn, and your path begins here. The others may stay or leave as they choose, but your journey has begun. Step forward not just with courage, but with understanding. Daniel followed her into the chamber. The walls were lined with glowing symbols that pulsed softly, almost like they were breathing. Strange devices and artifacts filled the space, each one humming with energy. The air was alive with possibility. "This chamber will teach you about my people, our history, and our values," the Queen explained. "It will prepare you for the responsibilities you have accepted. You will learn patience, diplomacy, and understanding. You will also learn to trust yourself, and to know when to act and when to wait. These lessons are not easy, but they are necessary." Daniel listened carefully, absorbing every word. He felt a sense of purpose growing inside him. The test had shown him his strengths, but this chamber would teach him the wisdom to use them well. As he explored the chamber, he realized that stepping forward was not just about being the first or the bravest. It was about being willing to embrace responsibility, to learn, and to guide others with care. Every artifact, every symbol seemed to whisper lessons about patience, courage, and understanding. The other humans watched from a distance. Some were amazed, some uncertain, and some wished they had stepped forward themselves. But Daniel knew that he had made the choice that was right for him. He had accepted the challenge fully, with heart and mind open to the unknown. The alien queen observed him quietly, her eyes reflecting both admiration and curiosity. She had seen many civilizations, many brave individuals, but something about Daniel was different. He did not seek glory. He did not seek power. He sought understanding, and he was willing to act responsibly even when the future was unclear. And in that moment, Daniel Reed realized something profound. Courage was not just about facing danger. Wisdom was not just about solving problems. True leadership came from combining both, and from being willing to step forward when others hesitated. With a heart open to the unknown, the journey was far from over, but Daniel knew he was ready for what lay ahead. The real test of his courage, wisdom, and compassion had just begun. Chamber hummed softly as Daniel explored its depths, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. The air shimmered with energy, and every artifact seemed to hold a story, a lesson waiting to be understood. The alien queen walked beside him, silent at first, letting him absorb the chamber's strange beauty. "You have shown courage, thought, and compassion," the queen said finally. "But the true measure of a human is how they act when trust is given and power is present. You have stepped forward willingly, but now you must prove that your heart and mind are ready for what comes next." Daniel nodded. "I am ready," he said, though he felt the tension in his chest. He understood that this next step was not just about tests or visions. It was about responsibility and leadership. The queen led him to a large table that seemed to float above the floor. On it were objects he could not name, small devices, glowing stones, and artifacts of alien origin. "These represent decisions you may face," she explained. "Some are simple, some are complex. Each choice will affect not only you, but many others. You must learn to weigh your actions carefully." Daniel studied the objects. One glowed warmly, almost like it had a heartbeat. Another pulsed sharply, demanding attention. He reached for the first one and felt a strange energy flow through him. A gentle reminder that choices were not always easy, but they must be made with care. The queen watched silently, her eyes never leaving him. Daniel felt a connection forming, not a friendship yet, but a recognition of understanding. She had seen many humans, many leaders, but something about Daniel's willingness to learn and to act thoughtfully had caught her attention. "Now," she said, "you will face your next trial. It is not physical, and it is not a puzzle. It is a matter of trust. I will reveal something to you that few humans have ever seen, and you must respond with honesty, courage, and understanding." The queen raised her hands, and the room darkened slightly. A soft light appeared in the center of the chamber, forming an image. It was a small, glowing figure, an alien child, lost and frightened, alone on a strange landscape. Daniel's heart ached at the sight. He felt an instinctive need to help, to protect. "You must decide how to act," the queen said. "There are many paths. Some may save the child but risk yourself. Some may hesitate and protect yourself, but others may suffer. Choose wisely and understand the weight of your choice." Daniel stepped closer. He could feel the pull of responsibility, the urgency of the situation. He thought of his crew, of his people, and of the alien civilization. He realized that courage was not enough. He needed empathy, wisdom, and a willingness to act despite fear. He reached out with care, moving toward the child. As he did, he felt a strange energy respond to him. The glowing figure seemed to recognize his intent, calming slightly as if understanding that he meant no harm. Daniel guided the figure gently toward a safe area, using both thought and action to protect it. The Queen observed closely. Daniel's actions were careful, deliberate, and compassionate. He did not rush or act selfishly. He considered the consequences and took responsibility for every step. The room seemed to hum louder, acknowledging his success in the trial. "Good," the Queen said. "You have shown that bravery alone is not enough. You have shown wisdom, empathy, and careful judgment. These are the qualities that will allow a human to step forward where others hesitate. You have earned my respect and trust." Daniel felt a mixture of relief and pride. He understood that trust was rare, especially between species. The Queen had placed hers in him, and he felt the weight of that responsibility. The chamber shifted again and the walls became transparent. Outside, Daniel could see the alien city in full view. Tall towers, glowing gardens, and beings moving gracefully through the streets. It was a world of beauty, order, and harmony, but also one that required careful guidance to maintain. "You see this world," the Queen said. "It thrives because of balance, care, and understanding. Now you have the chance to contribute to that balance, to act as a bridge between your people and mine. But first, you must continue to prove your commitment." Daniel looked at the city and then back at the Queen. "I understand," he said. "I am ready to do whatever is needed to learn and help." The Queen smiled faintly. "Then come," she said, leading him to a balcony that overlooked a central plaza. In the center was a group of alien leaders gathered to observe. "They will watch you," she said. "Your actions now will show them whether a human can be trusted to walk this path. You must act with honesty, courage, and respect." Daniel stepped onto the balcony, aware of every eye upon him. He felt a mixture of nerves and determination. He greeted the leaders respectfully, bowing slightly in acknowledgement of their presence. They responded with curiosity, some nodding slightly, others watching silently. The Queen guided him through a series of tasks designed to demonstrate judgment, patience, and understanding. He helped mediate a disagreement between two alien leaders, solved a complex logistical problem, and demonstrated care for the well-being of a group of alien children who observed quietly from the sidelines. With each action, Daniel's confidence grew, but he remained humble. He understood that his role was not to dominate or impress, but to act with wisdom and integrity. The Queen watched closely, occasionally offering guidance or correction, but mostly allowing him to act freely. Finally, after hours of observation and interaction, the Queen turned to him. "You have shown much," she said, "but the final step is personal. You must decide whether to commit fully to this path. It is not a simple promise. It is a choice that will affect both our peoples, our futures, and your own life." Daniel paused, feeling the enormity of the moment. He thought of his crew, his home planet, and the countless possibilities that lay ahead. Fear and uncertainty were present, but so were courage, hope, and a desire to do what was right. "I understand," he said slowly. "I choose to step forward. I accept the responsibility, and I will do my best to honor the trust placed in me. I am ready." The Queen's eyes softened, reflecting approval and respect. "Then you have taken the most important step," she said. "Not because you are the first or because you are brave, but because you are willing to act with understanding, heart, and courage. The journey is just beginning, but you are ready." Daniel felt a sense of calm determination settle over him. He knew that challenges lay ahead, that he would face moments of doubt and difficulty, but he also knew that he had taken the right step, and that trust, respect, and understanding could guide him through even the most uncertain times. And for the first time, Daniel Reed felt that he was not just a visitor or an explorer. He was a participant in a larger story, one that could change the course of history for humans and aliens alike. The real journey of trust, partnership, and unity was about to begin. Or what felt like a sun to human eyes, glowed softly over the alien city. Its light bounced off the crystal towers, painting the streets in shades of gold and silver. Daniel stood on a balcony with the alien Queen beside him, looking out over a civilization that was as beautiful as it was strange. He felt the weight of the moment, knowing that everything he had done so far had led to this day. "The time has come," the Queen said quietly, her voice steady but filled with meaning. "You have faced tests of courage, intelligence, and heart. You have made choices that showed wisdom and compassion. Now you must make your final decision. Will you step forward fully, accepting the responsibility you have chosen?" Daniel took a deep breath. He thought of everything he had experienced, the mysterious palace, the challenges that tested his mind and heart, and the trust the queen had placed in him. He felt fear, yes, but also excitement and purpose. This was not about personal glory. This was about connection, understanding, and building something meaningful between humans and aliens. "I am ready," Daniel said, his voice calm but firm. "I will step forward. I accept the responsibility. I will do my best to honor the trust given to me and to act with care, courage, and respect." The queen smiled, a slow and approving smile that made Daniel feel as though the weight of fear lifted from his shoulders. "You have chosen wisely," she said. "Not because you are brave alone, but because you understand that courage without wisdom is empty, and strength without compassion is dangerous. You are ready to walk the path ahead." A soft hum filled the air, and a golden light began to surround them. The city below seemed to shimmer in response, as though acknowledging the decision. Daniel felt a warmth spread through him, a mixture of pride, responsibility, and the strange but comforting presence of trust. The queen guided him to the center of the city, where both humans and aliens gathered. The humans who had accompanied him stood quietly, observing, some with admiration, others with uncertainty. The aliens watched as well, their eyes curious and alert. Daniel realized that every being present was witnessing the beginning of something important, a bridge between two worlds. "You have seen courage in action," the queen addressed the crowd. "But courage alone is not enough. Trust, understanding, and respect are needed to bring two peoples together. This human has shown that he possesses these qualities." Daniel stepped forward, feeling the eyes of everyone on him. He bowed slightly to the alien queen and then to the crowd. "I am honored by your trust," he said. "I will do everything in my power to honor it. I do not seek glory. I seek understanding and cooperation. Together we can build a future where our peoples learn from one another and protect each other." A murmur of approval spread through the crowd. Some humans nodded, inspired by Daniel's words. The aliens stepped closer, their expressions open and respectful. Daniel felt a connection forming, a bridge of understanding, fragile but strong. The queen raised her hands and a soft glow surrounded them both. "This is not only a union of trust but a promise," she said. "A promise that courage, wisdom, and compassion can guide us even in the unknown. You have chosen to step forward when others hesitated, and that is why you are the one who may walk this path with me." Daniel felt a mixture of humility and resolve. He understood the significance of his choice. He was no longer just an explorer or a visitor. He was a participant in a story larger than himself. He had accepted responsibility not for power or recognition, but for the potential to make a real difference. The crowd fell silent as the queen extended her hand to Daniel. "Step forward fully," she said, "and let this be the beginning of a new era for our worlds." Daniel took her hand. It was warm, firm, and reassuring. In that simple gesture, he felt the weight of the trust placed in him, but also the strength of the connection that had been formed. He had chosen to embrace responsibility, and now he would walk the path with courage, wisdom, and care. The city seemed to respond to their unity. Lights glowed brighter, colors shifted gently across the towers, and the air was filled with a soft, harmonious sound. Daniel realized that this was not magic, but a reflection of the balance, trust, and understanding that the queen had always valued. Over the next hours, Daniel learned more from the queen about her people, their culture, and their values. He listened carefully, asked questions, and showed respect for their traditions. He guided his own crew, teaching them to act with patience and understanding as well. Slowly, bonds formed between humans and aliens, built on mutual respect and shared experience. At one point, the queen led him to a quiet garden filled with glowing plants and gentle streams. "This place," she said, "represents harmony. It is fragile yet strong when cared for. So too is the bond between our peoples. It requires effort, trust, and understanding." Daniel looked around, feeling the truth of her words. "I understand," he said. "I will do my best to nurture this bond and to act with wisdom and care in all decisions." The queen studied him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Then she smiled. "You have chosen well. You have proven that a human can rise to meet the challenges of the unknown. The journey ahead will not be easy, but you are ready." As night fell over the alien city, Daniel stood with the queen, looking at the stars above. He realized that courage was not only about facing danger, but about making choices that honor trust and understanding. Wisdom was not only about solving problems, but about knowing when to act and when to wait. And true leadership came from combining courage, wisdom, and heart. The humans and his crew gathered around him, inspired by what they had witnessed. Some still had doubts, but many looked at Daniel with newfound respect. They understood that he had chosen responsibility over fear, compassion over hesitation, and understanding over pride. The Queen turned to Daniel one last time. "The choice you made today will be remembered," she said. "Not as a story of conquest or power, but as a story of courage, wisdom, and partnership. You have stepped forward when others could not, and for that our worlds are stronger." Daniel felt a deep sense of purpose. He had faced unknown challenges, trusted his heart, and made decisions that required courage, wisdom, and empathy. He knew the path ahead would be filled with challenges, but he was ready to walk it guided by trust, respect, and understanding. As he looked at the city, the Queen, and the humans around him, Daniel realized something profound. Stepping forward was not the end of the journey. It was the beginning. The real work, building trust, understanding, and unity, was just beginning. But he felt ready, and for the first time he felt a deep sense of peace and determination. And in that moment, Daniel Reed became more than an explorer. He became a bridge between worlds, a symbol of courage guided by wisdom and heart. The alien Queen smiled beside him, and together, they began a partnership that would inspire both humans and aliens for generations to come. The stars above shone brightly, reflecting the promise of a future built on understanding, trust, and the courage to step forward when others hesitated.